Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be doing a speed test comparison between Sony's major flagship phones from the last couple years. So we got the Z3V, the Z3 Plus, the Z5, the Z5 Premium, the Xperia X Performance, and the Xperia XZ. Alright, so I'm going to be placing them on the same in the same order on the floor, and I'm going to be powering them all at the same time. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so of course the XZ should be the first one to boot up. Should pretty much be in order, going this direction. Yeah, so Z3V, that's a special Verizon version of the phone. The exterior is similar to the Z2, but internals are similar to the Z3. Alright, so XZ first one to boot up, followed by the X Performance, Z5 Premium, Z3 Plus, Z3V, and Z5. So pretty interesting. I mean, mostly as expected, just a Z5 a little bit slower booting up. Alright, so next up we're going to go into load up some of these apps, see how they load up the games. Alright, so next we're going to be loading up a game at the same time. We're going to be doing Asphalt 8. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. So the X series phone should be the first one to load this up. They do have the Snapdragon 820. The Z3V Snapdragon 801. So you saw there XZ first one to load up by about half a second, followed by the X Performance. And then pretty much as expected, so the three phones with the Snapdragon 820, mostly at the same time, followed by the Z3V with the Snapdragon 801. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you a couple more tests in a minute here, but as mentioned, the Z3V, same with the Z3 Snapdragon 801, the Z3 Plus, the Z5 phone, Snapdragon 810, and the X Performance, the XZ Snapdragon 820. Now all these phones actually have the same amount of RAM at 3 GB, but as you guys can see, clearly a difference with optimizations and the processor. Now in terms of cameras, so the Z3V, the Z3 Plus have the 20.7 megapixel rear facing camera, the Z5 series 23, and the X Performance XZ 23 as well, although with the X Performance and the XZ you do have improvements. So for the XZ, just for example, very much improved stabilization on the back there. Now for front-facing camera, more of a difference between them. With the X series phones, the X Performance, the XZ, you have a front-facing camera of 13 megapixels. For the Z3V, you have a front-facing camera of 2 megapixels, and then for the Z3 Plus, the Z5, and Z5 Premium, front-facing of 5. The Z5, or rather the X Performance, only phone that cannot record in 4K mode. All the other ones can. All the phones are waterproof, all have stereo speakers, all micro SD card support. For the Z5, the Z5 Premium, the X Performance, and the XZ, you do have fingerprint scanners, so let me go ahead and show you that. So if these phones, as you guys see, do have these fingerprint scanners on the side. They have been improved on the latest models, but for the most part they do look pretty similar just for the exterior. And then for the Z3V, the Z3 Plus, no fingerprint scanner. Let me show you what that looks like. So you just have this button on the side. Now the XZ is the only phone with USB Type-C at the bottom. All the other ones have micro USB. Of course, micro or USB Type-C is pretty new, so that's expected. Now Z3V is the only phone here that has a flap covering the USB port. So you see here you have this flap. It's the same on the Z3 and all the previous Xperia models. So this is just for the waterproofing aspect of it. Again, all the phones have waterproofing, but on the other ones you don't have this annoying flap covering it that you have to remove every time. Sony found a way to make it so you don't need to do that. And then just to look at the rear facing design. So let's go ahead and turn off the screen, flip them all over. So obviously you guys see there with the Z3V, it is broken. That's because it has glass on the back. And in my opinion, definitely the worst quality glass because it's easiest to break. Alright, so obviously the one that stands out the most is Z5 Premium. It has a really nice mirror-like effect on the back. Now with the Z5, they did improve the glass on this a lot, tempered glass. So much harder for this one to break. I've dropped this plenty of times and it's never broken. So you have a frosted tempered glass on the back there. Now the Z3V, the Z3 Plus, really nice looking on the back, although it is all glass, so prone to break, as you see happen with the Z3V. But still, really beautiful design. And then with the X series, you're going more for metal. So you have a brushed aluminum look on the X Performance, and then on the XZ. So pretty nice design here on the XZ. And just so you guys see on the XZ, they did make it more tubular on the top and the bottom. And I'll show you that one last view. So for the other phones, it's mostly rectangular shaped. The Z3V, they really did a good job, or rather the XZ did a very good job of that, making it more tubular, circular. And even the size of the screen, a little bit of an edge to that. Alright, so let's take a look at the Antutu benchmark that I ran. Just going to put all these back. And we're going to bring up Antutu. So now look at the Antutu benchmark. And one thing I wanted to note, so as I mentioned earlier, all these phones besides the Xperia Z5 Premium, they're all full HD 1080p screen displays. The Z5 Premium is 4K. Although there's a lot more to it than just that. So in terms of colors on the older models like the Z3V, the Z3 Plus, a little bit colder colors. On the newer ones, a little bit warmer. The newer models also get a lot brighter. They have better viewing angles. And you guys can probably tell just from looking at this white screen. The Z5 Premium, excellent screen, although the colors on it aren't the best. It also doesn't get that bright. It's the dimmest of the bunch. All these are actually right now on 50% brightness, so that should give you a pretty good indication of what they look like. So again, even though they're mostly the same resolution, there is a big difference in terms of quality. And let me show you guys the scores now. So with the Z3V, again, Snapdragon 801, you have a 59,000 score. Z3 Plus, Snapdragon 810, 86,000. The Z5, just under 90,000. Z5 Premium, 93,000. Both those Snapdragon 810. And then the Snapdragon 820 phones, the X series, so the X Performance, 143,000. The XZ, 149,000. And let me just show you the info on this, rather the ranking. So above most of the major phones from this year, it is below the iPhone 7 Plus series. And then just some more in-depth look at the last place phone, the Z3V versus first place phone, the XZ. So just looking at some of the metrics there. And also guys, you can see the screen difference here, very obvious. Both see 50% brightness, but a big difference there. And then last, I'm just going to show you guys a camera app on both of these, just how much faster it is. So speed is, or rather the resolution is not the only thing that's changed. Speed has changed a lot as well. Alright, just to look at how much faster it is on the XZ in terms of just taking pictures. And then I'll show you versus the Z3 Plus as well. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Obviously Sony phones have evolved quite a bit for the last few years. In my opinion, mostly positive changes. Please subscribe for more like this in the future, and thanks again for watching.